There's no way possible you can build a future with one woman while still legally married to another woman. Now Remy Ma drops this diss track. You should have stayed off of VladTV. Well, at least you should have not talked about her. So Papoose, let's talk.
Yeah, so beautiful, so lovely.
Before I even get into my concerns, I definitely want to acknowledge the dope lyricist that you are. To this day, I still rock Alphabetical Slaughter as if it came out yesterday. You are very gifted. Can't take that away. But brother, we have issues. I have never seen you speak out so much publicly and be into so much drama. But here you are. You get on Vlad TV and you started talking, which I feel like certain points wasn't even relevant, but then yet you felt the need to do it anyway. So I'm actually looking forward to this first husband and wife rap battle that should happen. So you're here on Vlad TV. Mind you, this happened, I don't know, a couple of days ago, 2 weeks ago. I want to know why you decided to wear sunglasses. Was it because you were afraid that people were going to clock your body language? That, we were going to overanalyze your thought processes? Because, truth be told, when it comes down to body language, eye movements, you can kind of tell whether or not someone is telling the truth or there's some deception somewhere. So is that why you decided to cover up your eyes? You didn't want no one clocking the T? So I've noticed that, when you speak of Remy, you don't say her name, right? She knows you don't say her name, right? She's aware on how you kind of dismiss her out your life. Why? I don't know. That's weird. That's the mother of your child. But anywho, you don't say her name and you quote her as if she's your past. But how is she your past when she's legally your present? Like, I feel like it's very dismissive. Like, I understand that might be beef, and I know that she has made it clear. Listen, y'all keep my name out your mouth. So then why not say to the interviewer, listen, we're going to eliminate talking about her altogether. We're talking about what's going on with me right now, present life, new partner. Let's not even bring her up versus being dismissive. You want us all to believe that it's over when it's not. And it's like, okay, we already know what the situation is. Yes, we understand there's a separation, breakup, or whatever. But legally, you are still binded to this lady. So it's like, we probably wouldn't have so much to say if it was a wrap at this point, or it was at least appearing that it was getting closer. But for whatever reason, it's not looking like that. So what are you pondering? You filed last year, right? So I know you guys have properties or whatever. The both, well, at least you say it. That there's multiple properties. So what's the status on that? And I always wonder whether or not Claressa is over there even like clocking it herself. Like, damn, how long is it going to take for you guys to come to a settlement on what y'all going to do with the properties, childcare, visitation? Like, how long does this take? People who have more money than y'all get divorced quicker. It's just a question because you're in a whole nother relationship. Now, she's cool with, being the other person and dealing with this mediocre, less than decent relationship because that's what it is, right? If you're unable to commit yourself fully to one person, you have a relationship over here that you haven't completed and you're nurturing a new one. That's not a solid relationship. I don't care how you put it. So you carry yourself with class. What's the holdup? Let me ask you something. What is having a baby while married going to do for your life? At 47 years old, right? Listen, brother, I'm about to be 47. I'm not even talking my age because I'm there with you. But after having grown kids, right? And even with smaller ones, but who are self-sufficient, why are we trying to do this all over again? This is the first time I heard you mention actually wanting a baby. Well, I don't know. From what I can remember, Vlad brought it up about, you guys having a baby. You were like, yeah, well, she has 3 more fights this year. Okay, she got to work. And in this, you just kind of agreed with him and said something like, okay, yeah, after she fights or whatever. And then Vlad was like, oh, yeah, it takes some time for the body to heal, blase, blase. All the things that someone should do after they have kids. My question to you is, why would a baby, right, be in discussion if you are still married? Not one time in that interview, right, did you mention, until I get an actual divorce, is when Claressa and myself will talk about building our family. But until then, there's nothing to discuss. She's going to focus on her boxing. I'm going to focus on managing her or whatever position he has with her. And then we'll discuss furthermore. But brother, you're 47. You're damn near 50. I'm right there with you. I'm 46. I'll be 47 this year. And starting all over with little ones, we might look good. Our generation has to be one of the dopest, right? But who wants to start all over again? Raising little ones, diapers, cries. Ooh, I just don't know what a baby, even talking about having a baby, what it's going to accomplish. I just think that this is not just complicated, it's just plain out messy. Like, why would you even want to do that to a person? I don't know. I know for a fact, not I know for a fact, because I don't know Claressa, I don't know you. But what I do know and how it comes across is that because she is a woman, our biological clocks, they tick, and at a certain time in our lives, our bodies are preparing us to shut things down. And she's 31. And so I could understand, and as far as her mindset goes, I'm in a solid relationship, right? I got to put a baby inside me before I'm not able to, because at 35, it's considered a geriatric pregnancy. And I'm pretty sure she doesn't want to do that. But even with you mentioning it, it just doesn't look like you're that interested in even having a kid. At least that's how it came across. But again, at this point of in our lives, it doesn't. Who's really asking for that? Now, are there people in their 40s who just had kids? Yes, but I don't think that's ever our intention, especially when we have older kids, adult kids. I don't think that's just something that we're like, okay, let's do this all over again. No. When you were asked about living with Claressa, when I say I think that was like the first time I really heard you like super adamant, like, no, she lives over there, I live over here, and never, no, 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 never, is what you said. No living together. It was very clear that you guys had separate properties, but it just didn't come across like you are a person who is trying to build with her, which is okay. But it's just like, so when do we back up out of this, right? How do we help you get out? If your intention is really to build a future with this girl, just how you come across, right, doing these interviews, acting like you don't want to be bothered, it's not helpful. Just giving you a pointer. It doesn't sound like you are very interested, and that living separately is cool. Now, we just talked about having a baby, right? If never living together is what you mentioned, you can have that girl live by herself with a brand new baby. Brother, we're too old to play games like that. And my biggest concern is if you are toying with that young lady's heart, please see your way out of it quickly before it gets to a point where it's dangerous. You see what I'm saying? And I'm also curious to know, when you decided to get with Claressa, and there is an age gap, right? There's an age gap, and I can't say that someone has diagnosis, or, I'm not a physician, right? So I can't sit here and say someone has something, but there's some deficiencies along the way, and that's just my nursing opinion, right? And I work in mental health and substance abuse, so there's something that I'm just like, okay, she's gone through a lot, and that's no diss to her. It's just you can kind of see mentally there's something, but she also has this thing where she lies, right? And I'm thinking that, okay, if you're trying to build a solid relationship, right? Pap, you just went off on Easy the Block Captain because of your wife. Claressa likes to lie, right? She lies that then she lies about not, doing whatever she was accused of, and then finally admits that she does something and doesn't even apologize for. But this is a person that you, good sir, you want to build your life with. But this is what I'm saying. If you are of any way, shape, or form doing anything that can flip this whole story around and go bad, you need to wave the flag. Let this be the opportunity where you say, you know what, let me back out. It's becoming too much. Yes, everybody's right. Maybe I should go ahead and end what I have going on respectfully. And if it's meant to be, it'll be. That's your way out. That's your way out. I feel like if you keep dragging this along, and again, it's not that I want you guys, you and Remy, to get back together. That's not even the case. I loved you guys together. But clearly there was a lot of stuff happening that maybe it's time to let it go, right? But I feel like because Claressa is all in and we see her immature ways, that maybe it isn't a good idea to keep dealing with this relationship when you still haven't closed out your marriage. It'll just go left. I don't feel anything great about that. It'll go left. You ever seen that movie Unhinged? And speaking of lies, why are we acting like that Maserati Bud situation didn't happen? So just listen to me, right? I'm not saying that you have to do what you did to Easy the Block Captain, right? Per you. You're the one that says, you knocked him out. I'm not saying that you have to do all of that. But do you feel like that whole situation didn't happen? And the reason why I'm asking is because Claressa initially said, I don't even know this dude. This dude is like a fan, initially a fan. He's been like at places I've been, take pictures, don't know him, right? Then it was like, oh well, he came with my friend Nene, this, that, and the third. Still no one. Then she's like, yeah, he's my friend. I consider him a close friend. She said that on one of her interviews. Like, hold on, how did he go from not being known to to someone that was considered a friend, right? And then she shows the DMs. Now, Papoose, I don't think that, you're not smart, right? As a lyricist, you're very wordy. I'm going to consider you smart. Did you look at those DMs and was like, oh yeah, she doesn't know him? Because it showed the complete opposite of what she initially said. This chick had a whole conversation with a dude. Like it was too much conversation for a person that she doesn't know. Am I right or wrong? Too much conversation. So why did she get a pass for dealing with dude and Remy didn't? Now, Remy's your wife, different situation. And maybe that's it. Claressa's not your wife. You don't care enough about her to jump down people's throat, because even in the Vlad interview, you were like, I don't know, dude, to say nothing about him. I don't know. I'm thinking that if you love her the way you say you do, you're not going to let any man, regardless whether you know them or not, and defend her. But you have to think that something isn't right with that story. But you don't care enough to do anything about it. And that's okay. Just say that. And when Vlad brought up the engagement ring that Claressa insinuated that you gave her. Because I remember seeing that, I think it was on a Snapchat or whatever. And, engaged, I'm engaged or some shit she did. And it was like, hmm. But we didn't see an announcement. And I know that in the event that you were to have proposed for real, we all would have seen it. Right? We all would have seen it. But she does childish things like that. But when it was brought up to your attention about her doing that, you were like, oh, no, I mean, I bought her gifts, but ring? Never. Again, even if that's your thought process, right? That you won't ever buy this lady a ring, right? There's a different way. And I'm not even a publicist, I'm a whole nurse over here. There's ways that you could have said that differently to where you're not clocked and you're not analyzed to where we feel like you're using this girl. But the way you said it was like, yeah, that would never happen. Nope. I bought her nice stuff though, but ring? Nope, didn't happen. And if she doesn't see it, I mean, we can't tell her nothing either. But I just wish that you would back out of it if this is not where you're trying to be long term. I just want to touch bases real quick on this double standard. So when it comes down to easy to block, right? You punched him because this man shook your hand and had the nerve to do whatever happened between him and Remy. So why is it that you don't have a problem with Claressa trying to befriend Remy and then knocking you off? Where's the difference? If you don't respect the behavior that dude did, how does Claressa get the title of girlfriend if she was that same grimy individual that got Easy to Block Captain popped off on? Like like Anonymous T would say, make it make sense. You said that you don't do drama, but it's very obvious that you're comfortable in it because your girl has you in drama quite a bit, right? Every time she does an interview, she drags you and pulls you into whatever that comes out of her mouth. And we're not with you all the time at all. We're not with you. We don't know what you say. But clearly, if you do say anything, it doesn't leave enough impact for her to be quiet, even though she did say that you are the man that would make her shut up. You're not. Papa, you're a 5%er because my ex-husband was. And I know the Black woman and child, the family dynamic is major, right? And, God itself, yada, yada. And not so into the Christian belief, right? Now, Claressa states that she is a Christian, right? She praises God for all of the things that are in her life and blase blase, right? I'm a believer, but I don't believe half of the stuff that she says because she's dealing with you. But that's whatever. That's whatever. But I feel like when I had looked up that whether or not you were a 5%er, it had mentioned that your uncle was the one who introduced you to that belief. And I don't know if you identify, but that's what I read, right? And I think there was an interview that I saw with you and Remy. You kind of had mentioned, knowledge and other stuff that goes along with the culture. And my issue is that how do you feel like you two are aligned if she is a Christian and you are a 5%er? How is this going to work? Trust me, take it from someone who was married to one, didn't work. Pap, I feel like you're a dope lyricist, right? And I want whatever you want for your career. But what I am going to say is the only reason why we have an opinion on what's going on with your life is because your girl won't stop talking, right? It's amazing how Remy's diss track has her on mute. You may have told her, keep it quiet. This video is for accountability and clarity. Being honest. It's about alignment, honesty, and closure. You have to finish one relationship before you get to move on with the other. Neither one is free because you have your wife, you have your girlfriend. Why Claressa is accepting this for so long is crazy. And finish finish your marriage. Finish it out. See it to the very end, literally to the very end. If you love Claressa like that, I hate to sound so like old schooly, but make an honest woman out of her and not have her be under this umbrella of a mistress if that's not what you want for her. Because to me, it feels like you don't mind. And for whatever reason, she doesn't mind it either. Someone has to be the mature person about it and just be like, you know what? Let's put a pause on it. Let me end this relationship right now. Let me finish this. Let me wrap it up. And then if it's meant to be, we'll go ahead and make this thing happen. And it's okay to even have thought that, because if you got with Claressa as revenge for whatever Remy did, it's horrible, but we can all kind of understand it. But now we're trying to give you an out if that's the case. But also, too, if you don't want to be out and you want to be with Claressa, help her. Help her not look bad out here. Wrap up your marriage. And you can even still say, pause. Let me just finish this, please. Let me just finish this. You don't have to make a statement about it. No one needs to know your business. Just let her know, listen, I will definitely get back with you. We're going to make this happen. But I have to end this because there's no honesty. There's no purity. There's no love for real if you're unable to make it right. Dear Papoose, you can't build on something real on top of something that's unfinished. It's just not going to work. Get it done. Get this divorce over and done with. And if you don't want to get it, if you don't want to get a divorce because family means a lot to you, you and Remy go to counseling, but you have to be the mature person and let this go, right? If you need a third party just to make sure you don't get sucked in your teeth, then grab someone and have them, be there when you talk to Claressa. But, stop making her, be out here looking crazy, because she's out here looking crazy behind somebody who's not available for real. Thank you guys for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to connect with your girl on social media, on everything Spit Talking with Talia, go ahead and find me. My information is in the description box. And meet me in the comment section. Thank you all for watching, and I will catch you all in the next one.